Indeed, an honor for us to be here. I heard so much about Korea. I've been learning about Korea through my students and through some Korean monks in the United States.
이렇게 오게 돼서 너무 영광이고 또 그동안 한국에 대해서 제자들을 통해 미국에 있는 한국 스님들을 통해 접할 수 있는 기회가 있었습니다. 배울 수 있는 기회가 있었습니다.
And I'm personally very impressed with the Korean Buddhists. I find that many of your monks and nuns are very hardworking, very sincere, and that's what we have in common.
한국에 오셔서 여러 수행인들을 보고 많이 놀라셨다고 합니다. 이렇게 여러 일반인 또 출가인들이 모두 너무 진심으로 수행을 전념을 하고 있고 그런 걸 봐서 너무 놀라셨다고 합니다.
In this Dharma ending age, it's indeed very hard to be able to find people who are interested in learning about Buddhism.
이렇게 달마가 끝나가는 이 시대에 또 한국에서는 이렇게 여러 수행인들이 열심히 수행하는 것을 보고 매우 감동하셨습니다.
But it's even much more difficult to find people who are willing to practice.
심지어 이렇게 이런 시대에 그런 의지를 갖고 열심히 수행하는 의지를 갖고 있는 사람 찾기는 더욱더 어렵습니다.
Just like here at our temple, the temple at the Vairocana International Buddhist Meditation Center, where we've been here for 2 days now, and I noticed there's a lot of people who've been practicing with us day and night. That's very impressive indeed.
이렇게 방과 낮을 가리지 않고 열심히 수행을 했습니다. 굉장히 놀라운 일입니다.
Typically, when we go to a new place, people usually drop out after half a day or so.
대부분 저희가 이렇게 새로운 장소로 가서 같이 수행을 시작하면 한 반나절 정도 되면 사람들이 다 좀 많이 도망을 가는 편입니다.
Because our schedule is, you notice, is a little bit more vigorous than a normal schedule.
그 이유는 저희 수행하는 이 스케줄이 너무 다른 곳보다는 어렵기 때문이죠. 많이 어렵기 때문이죠.
And our practice is a little bit more demanding in that we go for like a full lotus posture instead of just being comfortable sitting in a chair.
예를 들어서 저희가 하는 방법은 특히 결과부자를 많이 권장을 하기 때문에 더욱더 어렵습니다. 그래서 더욱 놀랐습니다.
So personally, I found it very impressive that so many of you are so open-minded and try it out and are still here in particular.
놀라우신 거는 이렇게 많은 사람들이 열린 마음으로 시도를 해본다는 게 너무 놀랍다고 하십니다.
So yesterday we started our 3-day chanchi here.
어제 우리가 3일 선치를 시작을 했는데.
And we even suggested that some of you, those of you who wish to can stay overnight and sleep here in the Buddha Hall.
여기서 주무실 분은 그래도 된다고 이렇게 권장을 하셨는데 법당에서.
And several of you did. So I wonder, how did you sleep?
그래서 저희 스님 궁금하신 거는 여기 법당에서 몇 명 주무셨는데 어떠셨는지 궁금하십니다.
Yes. Any difference?
차이가 있었나요?
That's unusual because when we practice, when we do our chanchi, we encourage our students, the participants, to sleep in a Buddha hall because they all reported they sleep so much better.
주로 선치를 하실 때는 참여하는 분들한테 법당 안에서 잘 것을 좀 권장을 해보시는 편인데 그 이유는 잠을 너무 잘 자기 때문입니다.
Yeah, it's quite unusual. So anyway, so being that so many of you has been working very hard, you have any questions or concerns?
여기 계신 분들 중에 지금까지 열심히 하셨는데 수행을 질문이 있으신 분이 계시면 질문해 주십시오.
But today you also have some students from the high schools, yes?
여기 특히 고등학생도 있습니다.
So what grade are they in? How old are they?
about 15 to 16 years old.
18.
18.
Do you think 18?
High school.
High school. Oh, I see. I heard about the Korean high school curriculum, which is very, very tough.
교수님이
One of the toughest in the world, I heard.
한국이 세계에서도 그 고등학생들이 얼마나 공부 열심히 하는지 그 얘기를 들으셨다고 합니다.
Is it true that you start at getting up at 6 in the morning and don't go to bed until 2 a.m.? Really?
정말로 고등학생 여러분들이 한국에서는 2시까지 공부하고 막 아침 2시까지.
Is that correct? Yes?
Yeah, according to the student.
According to
only
students.
according to students.
And that's even tougher than our month schedule. So
더 심한.
so really, we're here to learn from you, not the other way around.
고등학생들한테 배워야 될 것 같습니다.
How can you manage to work so hard all day and sleep so little?
어떻게 그렇게 하루 종일 열심히 공부하고 일하고 또 잠을
That's
조금
remarkable. Yeah. And I noticed also, according to hearsay, that because of the long schedule during the day, you like take naps, right? After lunch,
저는 너무 이제
2-3 times a day, basically.
네, 스케줄이 너무 어렵다 보니까 뭐 중간에 낮잠도 잔다고 들었는데 진짠가요? So they take nap during the class.
During the class, yes.
After lunchtime.
So I've heard the first class is in the morning and afternoon, yes. But
두세 번 정도 하루에.
But that is most remarkable that you're able to have that kind of schedule.
그런 스케줄을 가지고 산다는 게 너무 대단하다고.
You must be superhuman, Superman, Supergirls or something. Yeah.
슈퍼히어로 같다고. 슈퍼히어로 같습니다.
And I understand you also the students here also take classes in moral education. What is that?
도덕. 아, 윤리.
In the school they learn more education.
In Korea we learn morality.
Morality. Wow, that's very well balanced. This is
우리
incredible.
한국에서 고등학교 때 도덕이나 윤리 배우잖아요, 그죠? 그거 들으셨대요.
So it's an eye-opening experience for me because I'm Vietnamese and I grew up going to a French high school and went to the U.S. for college and graduate school, and never had the kind of schedule that you put your kids through. This is incredible, so remarkable.
저는 되게 놀라운 게 베트남에서 태어나서 미국에서 고등학교 다니고 또 대학교도 미국에서 다녔기 때문에 그런 스케줄을 갖고 공부한 적이 없습니다.
And my only concern for your children is that they're going to get burned out so soon.
저는 그런 스케줄을 학생들한테 주면 나중에 에너지가 너무 고갈이 될 거라고 생각합니다.
Because I can imagine it's a lot of pressure for success, where you get into good schools, good grades, and so forth. And I feel that probably one thing that you could do to help your children in high schools
어린 학생들을 도울 수 있는 좋은 방법은
is to have classes in meditation as well. Do you?
명상을 가르쳐 주는 겁니다. 그런 명상 가르쳐 주나요, 학생들한테?
학교에서는 없습니다. 절에서만 합니다.
Okay, sounds
no
good.
class, but you can go to temple to learn.
But every Sunday, Saturday they are coming here and they do meditation.
여기 비로자나의 그 고등학생들이 이제 와서 법회를 하고 참선을 합니다.
But maybe it should be taught to everyone because it's so important that for children to teach them. If you have such a good educational system for your children, I feel part of that should also include
제 생각에는
training them, teaching them how to better cope with stress.
그 스트레스를 어떻게 관리를 해야 되는지 가르쳐줘야 된다고 생각합니다.
Because that's too much stress on your children if you put them through that
어린
kind of
사람들한테
schedule.
너무 스트레스를 많이 주는 스케줄이라고
Okay.
생각합니다.
And only through meditation can you relieve stress for them.
명상을 또는 참선을 통해서만 이 스트레스를 이렇게 없앨 수 있습니다. 줄일 수 있습니다.
Yeah. So
그 방법은 다 하나뿐입니다. 명상 또는 참선.
you know, so for example, one idea I have is that maybe after lunch, or after dinner, okay, after you eat good meals, because that's important for the children. You need to feed them well after they work so hard.
먹는 것도 매우 중요하기 때문에 일단 점심이나 저녁 시간에 식사를 잘 시키고.
Many of them doze off. So
졸죠, 애들이.
what you could do is teach them to get into full lotus and sleep in full lotus.
애들을 결과보잘 시키고 낮잠을 자게 하십시오. 너무 심하다.
Funny, huh? Funny. And by the way, those you plan to stay overnight tonight, that's going to be the case.
오늘
Sleeping in full
주무실
lotus.
결과보자를 하고 주무십시오.
It is very, very, very interesting because if you train your students on meditation,
이거 매우 중요한 일입니다. 왜냐하면 어린 학생들한테 명상을 가르치면
and then encourage them
그리고 또
to cross the legs
다리를 이렇게 꼬아서 앉도록 그렇게 용기를 북돋아주면
after the meals
밥을 일단 먹이고
and meditate.
그리고
Okay.
명상을 하고
Instead of sleeping, they will naturally doze off.
결과부자를 시키면 자기도 모르게 이렇게 낮잠을 자게 됩니다.
And if those students who have some good meditation skills,
만약에
they don't even need to sleep. The meditation will make them more refreshed, clear their heads, reduce the
잠에
stress,
빠지지도 않고 결과부자를 해서
increase their stamina.
스태미나도 생기고
They'll be so much better off.
그러면 애들이 참 나중에 잘 살게 될 겁니다. 있으신 분 계세요?
So I would encourage you to do that. You know that you should
저는 여러분 모두 그런 애들한테
encourage your students to come to temples to learn meditation,
된다고 합니다.
and even better yet, teach meditation classes at your schools.
학교에서도 그런 명상 프로그램을 하는 것을 좋다고 생각합니다.
If you get a good teacher who can spend 10-15 minutes in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, break it up like that. Sit with their students. They will help them tremendously.
선생님을 찾을 수 있으면 아침, 점심, 저녁으로 15분씩만 함께 해도 큰 변화를 줄 수 있습니다.
Why do I know that?
어떻게 그걸 스님이 아시는지.
It's because our monk schedule from the U.S. is also very, very tough.
미국 스님들도 스케줄이 되게 바쁩니다.
We get up at 4. We start morning ceremony at 4.
4시에 이제 아침 예불을 하고.
And it's not uncommon for us to, especially with our new temple here, to work until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
저 스님이 새로 불사를 하시는데 큰 사찰을 고치고 있는데 밤 12시까지 쉬지 않고 일을 합니다.
There's a lot of physical work for us who especially are trained to eat only one meal a day.
그리고 하루에 한 번 먹습니다.
And so that you run out of sugar, you run out of energy towards the afternoon, evening.
그래서 일이 다 끝나고 나면 혈당이 완전히 떨어지게 일부러 그렇게 합니다.
So you can have two ways to deal with that. Either you eat snacks in the afternoon, in the evening.
그러면은 그런 경우에 딱 두 가지 방법으로 해결할 수가 있는데 하나는 간식을 먹고 발작 해결을 하든가.
To replenish your sugar level, to increase your sugar level.
혈당을 올리든가.
Okay. or
또는
you can meditate.
참선합니다.
Okay, and with meditation alone, we can restore our strength and our clarity of mind, even though when you're very tired.
그렇게 너무 피곤한 상태에서도 참선을 하면 우리의 마음이 모두 맑아질 수 있습니다.
All right, so I really feel that it's something you should consider doing at your high schools.
그래서 제 생각에는 고등학교에서 이런 참선하는 것을 꼭 권장합니다.
My late master, Venerable YongHua,
선화상인 저희 스님 저의 마지막 저의 스승이었던 선화상인
who brought Chinese Buddhism to the U.S.
선화상인은 중국에서 선을 미국으로 가져왔는데
and transferred his knowledge to my generation.
그래서 내 세대에 전파를 했는데
Part of his efforts was to found high schools.
그 선화상인이 했던 일 중에 노력을 많이 했던 게 고등학교를 운영하는 겁니다.
And I was able to had the chance to work and teach in one of his high schools.
근데 그때 당시에 저도 그 고등학교에서 가르칠 수 있는 기회가 있었습니다.
For about 10 months or so, one curriculum year.
한 10개월 정도.
And the high school we have at the city, 10,000 Buddhas.
만불성성에 있는 고등학교 같은 경우는
And now that I realize I have some high school students here today, that particular high school there, we have meditation classes every day.
거기 만불성성에 있는 고등학교에는 학생들을 위해서 매일매일 참선 수업이 있었습니다.
For 15 minutes.
15분 동안 매일.
And these kids move on to go to MIT, to Harvard, to the good schools,
거기는 학생들이
Berkeley and so forth.
MIT나 뭐 하버드, 버클리 같은 대학에 가는
Okay, so it's consistent with our beliefs that Dhan meditation, the more you excel at that, the more you improve as a person.
더 많이 선을 열심히 할수록 한 명의 사람으로서 많은 발전을 하고 또 성과를 올릴 수 있죠.
In particular, I don't know if the children here are interested in that.
여기 있는 학생들이 관심 있을지 모르겠지만
The emphasis of American Chan that we are bringing here to Korea this trip is
미국 선을 이제 한국으로 가져온 이번 여행의 목적은 그 미국 선을 한국으로 가져오는 것인데
is to train the students, the participants in developing your samadhi power, their samadhi power.
참가하는 여러분들의 산매력을 올리는 것이 가장 큰 목적입니다.
What it means is that the more samadhi you have, you are able to sustain your concentration a lot longer.
우리가 모두 여러분이 산매력이 생길수록 산매가 많을수록
Okay.
그 집중력을 올릴 수가 있습니다.
And actually, your mind's a lot faster. You're able to absorb a lot faster. In fact, I think one of a American Tibetan monk who's a disciple of the Dalai Lama,
달라이라마 제자 예를 들어서 달라이라마 제자 중에 하나,
who practiced under the Tibetan system for 20 years.
20년 동안 티베트식 불교 명상으로 20년
was the MRI researcher to do a scan of the brains, of his brains.
티베트식 불교 명상을 하는 그 미국 사람이 MRI 하는 사람을 고용을 했습니다. 그래서 스캔했죠.
And so they scan his brains. They put him through the MRI machine and scan his brains and see what's the difference between his brains and, let's say, a typical person who doesn't meditate.
그 아무 명상을 해보지 않은 일반인과 자기 이제 티베트식 명상을 20년 동안 그 두뇌를 스캔을 해서 비교를 했습니다.
So you can imagine this American monk here who before he was scanning, was trying so hard to meditate.
저는
There's so much pressure, so much stress.
미국 사람인데 엄청 스트레스 많은 상태에서 막 명상.
And then they scan his brains, and they realize that the activities of his brains in his brains are much bigger than a normal person. The active brain areas.
결과 그 명상을 20년 한 사람의 그 스캔 그 결과는 이 활동 그 두뇌 활동 그 양이 훨씬 많았습니다.
So I look at that. This is like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
10년, 20년 전 일인데 이 일이.
I was intrigued because this Tibetan monk, American Tibetan monk,
이 미국인 티베트 불교 스님 보고 굉장히
after
놀랍다 이렇게 생각.
after 20 years of practice under the system, Tibetan system,
불교 그 티베트 불교에서 그 시스템에서 20년 해서
was at second dhyana only.
그냥
Second dhyana, level of of samadhi, low level samadhi.
삼매 그 선정 레벨 중에서 낮은 단계인데.
And yet,
그런데도 불구하고
it affects the wiring of the brains itself.
그럼에도 불구하고 두뇌 안에서 그 연결이 벌써 달라집니다. 거기에 영향을 줍니다.
So it turns out that personally, in my students who practice chant under me over the last 10 years, 12
10년
years,
이상 그 스님 제 아래서 공부를 한 제자들 같은 경우는
we haven't deviated from our original plan. When I first started to teach chant, I always said, you need to learn meditation in order to increase your samadhi power, to improve.
참선을 배우면 삼매를 올려야 된다. 삼매를 올려야 된다.
And so over the years, quite a few of my students got very far. They
몇 년 동안, 수년 동안 가르친 제자들이 많이 진전했어요.
So they went through the samadhi power, the concentration power increased tremendously.
그래서 엄청 빠른 속도로 그 선정이 막 올라갔어요.
And they reported it to me, which I experienced personally as well.
제자들이 얘기하기를
As every time, let's say you go from one samadhi level, this is second dhyana,
뭐 2선에서 3
to third dhyana,
3선 갔다.
or fifth samadhi to sixth samadhi.
예, 뭐 또는 뭐 5정에서 6정.
Any level where you experience increase the next improve the next level. If some of them reported to me that they realized they noticed something popped in the brains.
그 제자들 몇 명이 여기 경험을 했는데 머리에 뭐가 탁 터졌대요. 팍.
Yeah, pop.
팝콘 터지듯이 이렇게 팍 터져.
Pop. So and then with my very scientific mind,
과학적으로 생각하기에는.
I merely sees that and said, you see, it means your gray matter established more channels. More neurons are going through.
저기 두뇌 활동이 더 좋아졌다.
And therefore your mind is faster.
그렇기 때문에
Your thoughts move a lot faster.
효과적으로 작용하고.
And you're able to absorb more, to retain more.
또
You remember.
또 기억력도 더 좋아지고.
So this pertains to our children, your children, where they do a lot of cramming, and if they meditate, they're able to increase their memory.
학생들을 위해서 이런 얘기 하는데 참선에서 그런 일이 생기면 기억력이 엄청 좋아지죠.
And as all of my students who practice chant meditation, they also reported that their mind is so much faster as well.
제자들이 나한테 얘기를 하는데 마음의 속도가 굉장히 빨라져.
Okay. So I feel that personally, my experience has told me in the last 20 years of practicing meditation, teaching meditation.
내 경험으로 20년 동안 가르치고 또 스스로 수행하는 그 경험을 봤을 때
Chan is very good for people of all ages.
저는 나이에 관계없이 모두 좋은 이점이 있습니다.
And you look closely at the people who are achievers, who are, let's say, scientists.
예를 들어서 사회적으로 다 우리가 인정하는 성공한 사람들 같은 경우, 예를 들어서 과학자,
Presidents,
대통령들,
professors,
대학교 교수들.
The big names,
우리가 말만 하면 아는 그런
the well-recognized one are actually the people with samadhi power.
그런 사람들 거의 대부분 산매력이 있어요.
Even our current president right now.
심지어 미국 대통령까지도.
Guess what his level is.
그 사람은 현재 미국 대통령.
You may be laughing at our president, okay, and we don't blame you. What do you think his samadhi level is?
혹시 어느 레벨에 있는지 아세요, 미국 대통령? 산매력이?
현재
Very low.
현재요.
Very low.
Master YouTube 3 channels.
Yeah. Very low. First dhyana. That's it.
초선입니다.
First dhyana.
초선.
Even so, you see, he has samadhi power.
그렇지만 그건 대통령이 그 산매력이 있는 거죠, 그렇죠?
So you see, that's why I've been telling you, first dhyana is like no concentration, not much concentration. So you notice when doing his press interviews, he jumps from subject to subject. He can't focus that much.
미국 대통령 얘기를 할 때 이 주제로 얘기했다, 저 주제로 얘기했다 굉장히 점핑을 많이 합니다.
Okay, you notice that? You watch his interviews, he has a hard time concentrating.
인터뷰를 잘 보면 미국 대통령이 한 군데 집중 못하고 주제를 여기서 저기로 바꾸고 여기서 저기로 바꾸고.
What about Barack Obama?
바락 오바마를 한번 볼까요?
What do you think his level is?
바락 오바마는 산매력이 얼마죠?
Okay.
혹시 아세요?
A little bit higher.
조금 더 높아요.
Okay, we not just between us. Okay, do not tell others. Okay. Oops.
TV 채널.
So this goes. I'm trying to prove to you that if you want to do big things, important things in life,
여러분이 큰 일을 하고 싶으면
the achievers in our society are the ones who are actually have samadhi power,
산매력이 있습니다.
because they're able with samadhi power, with the level, each level of concentration, they're able to sustain, handle the stress better, and have higher level of stamina, and solve because their head is clearer and works faster. They're able to solve the problems a lot quicker and better than person who's scattered, who doesn't have samadhi power.
정신 흩어진 사람보다 훨씬 더 빨리 그리고 더 효과적으로 문제를 해결할 수가 있죠.
Does it make sense to you? It doesn't happen by chance.
그냥
Okay?
어쩌다 우연히 생기는 일이 아닙니다.
They all have to work for it.
그 사람들 모두 다 그걸 얻기 위해서 일을 해야 돼요.
All right. What about tennis players?
테니스 선수들 한번 볼까요?
I know that you have a young Korean now who's doing very well. Okay. But the big names like Roger Federer, anyone watch his tennis?
떠오르는 선수가 있는데
No one watches tennis here in this country. Come on, you have a young one upcoming, Mr. Chung something. 정훈. Okay.
정현 선수.
Yeah. His samadhi is not very high. That's why he's still struggling a lot.
그 선수가 너무 산매력이 아주 높지가 않아가지고 그래서 고생을 좀 많이 하고 있습니다.
So Roger Federer. Okay.
로저 페저?
What level do you think he is?
그 사람
Can you imagine out there in tennis court? You're there by yourself, and you have 100,000 people watching you around you, and then you have another few 100 million watching you as well. Scary thing.
있는데 막 수많은 사람 관중이 있잖아요, 그렇죠?
Okay, so it's a lot of you under your scrutiny. It's a lot of pressure, and you tighten up. That's why the people who go to the tennis players who for the first time go to the biggest stadium grandstand, the first time they all freeze, they all terrified. They cannot function.
선수들이 이렇게 딱 그 경기장에 도착을 하면 딱 얼어버려.
Because they cannot handle the stress of being watched by so many pairs of eyes. Just like me here today, I'm so stressed because so many people watching this American guy here and see what he has to offer. It's a lot of stress, trust me. Okay? And especially high school students who are sitting there and trying to sleep. So Rosh is Dhyana. That's all. Only third Dhyana. Okay. And you know, the professional tennis training nowadays, they have the sports psychologists who actually teach them meditation. Okay. Yeah. So if you go to the school, the temples where you can train and get, let's say, fourth samadhi instead of fourth dhyana instead of third dhyana, imagine how much better you can do professionally. You see, right now your education system is based on how much you know and how you train your students. The one thing you're overlooking, the whole world is overlooking right now, is developing the children's and people's samadhi power.
근데 우리가 만약 학생들한테 산매력을 올릴 수 있는 그런 시스템을 준다면 어떻게 될까요?
Okay, now I was also curious. I was watching the PBS channels in US. It's a public station.
미국에서 이렇게 TV 보고 PBS 보고 있었는데 TV 채널 보고 있었는데 궁금한 게 생겼어요.
And there's once years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
10년이나 15년 전에
there's a program that interviewed the Nobel Prize winners.
거기 인터뷰인데 노벨상 받은 사람 인터뷰하는 것이 있었습니다.
So I watch all these Nobel Prize winners in biology, in science, in physics, in medicine, in literature.
문학 여러 가지 종류별로 다 노벨상 받는 사람들을 관찰하는데.
I was curious what kind of concentration power or samadhi level these people have.
보기 위해서 궁금했습니다.
Okay. And these are real famous personalities. They're revered by the science communities throughout the world.
그 중에 어떤 사람 굉장히 그 과학자들 사이에서 커뮤니티 사이에서는 잘 알려진 사람들이 있는데.
And guess what? What's the average samadhi level of these Nobel laureates? What do you think? What do you think?
어떻게 생각하세요? 4 stage?
You think they are our scientists, right? Like Mr. Stephen Hawkins.
예를 들어서 스티븐 호킨스랑 볼까요?
Like Mr. Stephen Hawkins.
Okay. She has a question.
Yes.
Are there how many levels existing?
What? The scientists? Oh, many levels. Many levels. For as far as you're concerned, 8. For us, it's millions. Professionals like us, it's millions. For you, you only have to worry about 8. You're a superior person already.
8개만 걱정하면 돼요, 일단. She says, how do you divide those levels?
I didn't divide them. Sorry.
저희 스님이 안 해주셨대요.
How can you tell who has like 4th of
어떻게 그거를 알아볼 수 있냐? 물어봤어요. 저기 계신 스님이.
Good question. I think I can.
제가 생각하기에는 제가 알아보는 것 같은데 확실치는 않아요.
And the way we monks verify that is by beating up on you.
스님들 사이에
If you think, for example, you are a third dhyana,
막 심하게 핍박하고 막 이렇게 하면은.
and so what I do, I send one of my students who's fourth dhyana and go and test you out.
예를 들어서 제자 중에 하나를
If you cannot handle it, then what? She
제자가
cannot be fourth.
보내서 저기
You see that?
몇 레벨인가
See,
보면은
we are.
이 사람 어떻게 참지 못하겠다 이러면은 그 사람보다 레벨을 일단.
Yeah, we're very scientific ourselves.
굉장히 과학적으로 증명합니다.
Okay, so what we do is let's see, I think you're third. Okay,
예를 들어서
I'm not saying you are. I think. Okay, so I send a fourth level to come and beat up on you, and you say, "Oh my God, this is too much. This is too much," and you run away. Okay, and then so we know you're not fourth. Okay. Okay. And then I send the next student who is second to come and attack you. Okay. And you say, what is?
영향이 안 가요, 그 사람한테.
So it goes to prove that you're not fourth, you're not second, so therefore must be somewhere in between.
이렇게 과학적으로.
See that?
알 수가 있죠.
Now you know my secret.
매우 과학적이죠.
That's one way.
그게 방법 중에 하나고.
But anyway, in Buddhism, this is only in Buddhism where we have the Buddha very precisely levels of samadhi. Okay. For example, we talked about it last night. We said that first dhyana, first jhana is, you can verify that because your pulse stops.
예를 들어서 초선이 딱 되면은 들어가면은 맥박이 딱 멈추는 거.
Okay.
부처님이
It stops.
게 굉장히 정확한데.
When you enter first dhyana. If someone touches your pulse, you cannot feel anything.
여기 딱 맥박을 지금 아무것도 맥박이 없어요.
Yeah, my heart beating is like crazy right now. So and then second dhyana, your breathing stops. So we know these the Buddha described it very precisely for us. So that's how one way for us to verify it.
그래서 그 방법으로 또 우리가 확인해 볼 수 있습니다.
Okay, so that's how there's different ways of knowing.
She's checking.
Oh yeah, and so forth. So that's how we know. Does it answer your question?
대답이 되셨나요?
There's so many ways to know, and then of course,
다른 방법도 많이 있는데.
you're lucky you meet someone like my master. YongHua. He doesn't need to be as coarse as we are. He's just one glance at you. He knows where you are. Okay, so then different ways of knowing. The advanced teachers, one look they know right away. Why is that? Because there's such great teachers that they need to know where you are to help you improve. Right? Does it make sense? Because at each level you have different levels, different obstructions for you to improve the next. So the great teachers who went through all the various 1 million samadhis, they can recognize where you stuck and what it would take to help you get out. All right? All right, so we're talking about Nobel laureates. So what do you think? The American researchers, the European researchers, Japanese researchers. I don't know any Korean researcher. I didn't see when during on that program. Very real famous ones. They are 2 and 3.
대부분 평균적으로
These are the scientists that you trust, you place your trust on, and trust your world on their understanding and their equations. 2 and 3. That's it.
단지 딱 이산 상상밖에 안 됩니다.
Isn't it amazing?
놀랍지 않나요?
And then there's one fellow Indian physicist, very famous.
되게 굉장히 유명한 인도인 피지시스트, 물리학자가 있는 거예요.
And he's the only one I've saw that's fourth.
한 명 봤는데 그 사람이 딱
That's the highest I saw.
제일 높은 거 보신 게 사선.
All those Nobel laureates. You see, so you train your children to be fourth or higher, you have plenty of Korean Nobel laureates.
가르쳐서 4선, 5선 되면, 5정 되면
That's one way.
얼마나 뛰어난 사람이 될까요?
All right. Any other questions?
뭐 일반적으로 가지고 있는 스트레스, 우울증이나 이런 거는 도움 많이 될 거라는 거는 짐작을 하겠는데 선천적으로 타고난 뭐 아이들의 어떤 사람의 고유 질병 있잖아요. 선천적으로
뭐 이렇게 유전병이요?
유전병 아니 뭐 그 극심하게 뭐 다운 증후군이나 자폐하다 아니면 그냥 뭐 강대성 지인장애라든지 그 정도 불안장애라든지 이런 거 가지고 있는 그 정신질환을 가지고
정신질환 정확하게 정신질환이에요.
예, 선천적으로 우울증 같은 거 말하고 선천적으로.
So she's wondering
그런 것도 도움이 되는 거예요.
if child help people who has mental problem, not like depression, but born with that kind of problem, mental problem. For example, autism. For example, autism or Down syndrome. Would this help?
The answer is I don't know.
대답은 모르십니다. 모릅니다.
We've personally, I've helped people with depression, with mental illness,
아니면은 정신적인 질환이 있는 사람 도왔는데
because I have the opportunity to help them.
왜냐하면 제가 그 사람들한테 도와줄 수 있는 기회가 있기 때문에 이렇게 가능했어요.
I saw families with children who with autism and so forth.
예를 들어 전에 어떤 가족을 만났는데 그 자폐아가 있었어요.
And even some cases very serious, even more serious
심한
problems.
경우도 있었는데.
But these families, they never came and asked us for help. So I never had any experience helping them. So the answer is I don't know. Okay, but from what I understand, from my limited knowledge of Buddhism,
한계가 있지만 제가 이해하는 바로는
in theory, we should be able to help. In theory.
이론적으로 봤을 때 불교적인 이론적으로 봤을 때는 도와줄 수도 있다고 생각합니다. 개인적으로 생각했을 때.
But realistically speaking, it's very hard.
너무너무 어려워요.
It goes to extreme measures. If you go to extreme measures, then it's possible.
굉장히 극단적인 방법을 썼을 때.
For example, it's only because we're limited in our we have limited abilities. Yeah, I can recollect the story of people who prayed to our Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. And the Buddha helped them heal all kinds of illness. My late master YongHua, he's used to be very famous because he healed so many people with different kinds of illness. He could heal people with cancer, with terminal diseases, all kinds of problems. Particularly, there's a young boy who has leukemia, and he's bedridden. He couldn't function, and so he heard about by my late teacher, Master YongHua.
가족이 그 아이를
He heard that.
선화상인 소문을 듣고
He heard that if you hear, and my master has this vow. He says, if you hear my name and see my
선화상이
image,
바오가 뭐죠?
I vow to save you.
소원을 했는데 내 이름을 듣는 모든 일을 내가 도울 거다라고 그렇게 약속을 했어.
I vow that I will save you, and I have to save you before I become a Buddha.
부처가 되기 전에
That's his vow.
내 이름을 듣는 사람 모두 구하겠다.
And so this young boy here, young man here, probably a teenager, he started reciting and praying to Master YongHua and bound his image on the book that he's reading.
책을 그 선화상의 책을 읽으면서 선화사진 사진을 걸어놓고 계속 절을 하면서 기도를 했어요.
I don't remember for how long, but for a while.
굉장히 정확하게 얼마나 오랫동안 그렇게 했는지 모르겠지만 좀 오랜 시간 동안 그렇게.
And one day he said that one day as he was bowing there, he saw bound to the image of Master YongHua in his
어느 날
book.
갑자기 그 책에 있는 선화상의 이미지에 이렇게 절하고 있는데.
So suddenly one day he saw his hand reaching out from that image and touch his head.
이미지가 딱 보였는데 그 아이한테 그 책 안에 있는 선화상인이 손을 딱 내미는 그런 걸 경험을 했대요.
He was healed.
그리고 그 후로 치유가 됐어요.
Okay, and that's what happens to my master. He had a lot of followers because there's so many stories like that.
그런 이야기가
everywhere.
많은데 그래서
In China, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in the U.S., everywhere.
대만, 미국 스토리가 아주 많습니다.
So if you have the fortune of the blessings to meet such a person, yes, all this can be helped. But personally, I feel it's a lifelong illness, and therefore it's very difficult.
너무 어려운 일 왜냐면 평생 있는 그런.
Very difficult to undo.
그거를 undo. 해결하기 어렵다.
So I feel realistically, practically speaking, it's probably not possible. But you can believe for the children. I think that's one of the biggest worries for the parents is that they worry about the welfare and the future of the children.
부모님들이 그런 아이 있는 경우에는 그런 아이 그런 미래 그리고 또 well-being에 대해서 되게 걱정하잖아요.
So who knows? Maybe in the future we have a chance to have a shot at those types of cases. So far, I don't know.
지금까지는 경험이 없어서 잘 모르겠지만 누가 알겠어요? 또 그런 기회가 있으면 어떻게 될지.
We bound by as monks. We bound by some rules, or we cannot say things that we don't know. So when I don't know, I answer you, I don't know.
말을 하면 안 되는 그 룰이 있어요.
I know it's disappointing. I wish I knew more, but I don't know. Okay.
경험이 없으니까 모르는 거는 얘기할 수 없습니다.
All right. Any other questions?
질문 더 있으신 분 계세요?
Question.
Yes.
How do you think that a beginner, but like meditation can help the people that are worrying about financial future and regretting like decisions from past that could affect future financial something.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
여기 안 들려서.
The question I repeat, and you can correct me. Okay, is that he's a beginner meditation. He's interested, and he says, how can meditation help who wants to have a better jobs and so forth, right? And what else?
저기 계신 분 질문이 한번 할까요?
Yeah, like if people have like a financial worry about financial future, and
Yes.
People have family but worrying about financial future and
Right.
regretting like financial decisions in the past that could affect financial future.
Right.
and like losing sleep over things like that, you know.
Right, worries. Yes.
Worries like
Mm.
preventing sleep and how
Mm.
people could maybe also sleep better with meditation.
That's a lot of questions
I'm not sure what happened.
when you translate.
여기 계신 분이 질문이 금전적으로 어떤 걱정이 많은 사람들 같은 경우는 어떻게 이 선이 도움이 될지 그 맞나요? 그쵸? 그게 물어보셨죠? 그래? 그걸 물어보셨습니다. 좀 길었는데.
Just one comment before I forget. The two kids who I saw downstairs, the two high school students.
제가 아래층에서 본 고등학생 2명이 있어요.
Now they left. I can tell you that they're so stressed out.
이미 스트레스가 엄청나다는 게 보여요.
Similarly to you, people who are stressed out, so worried. Okay, they freeze. They lose their clarity. They lose their nimbleness of mind and body.
스트레스가 너무 극심하면은 그런 사람들은 뭔가 마음이 좀 경직이 돼서.
Okay, so that's the first thing you need to realize first. That is, if you're so stressed out, you're so worried about grades, about your future,
미래나 아니면 또 금전적으로 계속 걱정이 많으면,
then you are in a state of, shall we say, paralysis. Paralysis means you can't move.
막 마비된 그런 상태가 되는 거예요.
Okay, so it's not helpful for your future, helpful for you to fix your problems. So let's talk about two issues first. Okay, two issues here with this question. Number one is that
질문에 두 가지 이슈가 있는데 하나는
if you're so stressed out, you're so worried, okay, then you better fix that problem first.
먼저 그 스트레스를 주는 그 문제를 먼저 해결하는 게
because if you don't, things will only get worse from where you are because the stress increases and you even more crippled, more paralyzed as you allow it to build.
그 극심한 스트레스 주는 원인을 먼저 해결하지 않으면은 점점 더 마비 상태가 되고 점점 더 경직된 상태가 되기 때문에 일단 그거 먼저 해결을 해야 해요.
Agree?
동의하시나요?
It's not just you, but let's say for most of us, when we're so worried about something,
예를 들어 우리 누구나 다 그래요. 걱정이 진짜 많은
and we can't seem to get our mind off those worries.
예를 들어 그 걱정 때문에 생각이 거기에만 계속 집중하고 벗어나지.
Have you noticed that the situation seems to get worse and worse as we worry more?
그 상황이 점점 악화되는 것 같아요.
Until when? Till you can't take it anymore, you sleep or you put your mind on something else. Yes?
너무 이게 극심해서 더 이상은 그거를 참을 수가 없는 경우까지 가면 자거나 다른 걸 하게 되죠. 피하니까.
Agree? That's what happens to all of us.
그 모든 사람한테 그런 일이 생겨요. 그렇죠?
We worry and we can't stop worrying until we can't anymore.
걱정해서 막 더 이상 걱정할 수 없는 지경까지 가면은
We only stop because we failed, because we at the end of our energy, of our abilities.
그 걱정이 너무 극도로 심한 경우에
How does it help you solve the problem?
너무 심해서
It doesn't. So instead,
에너지가 없어서 그냥 실패하는 거예요.
if you realize that you worried and you so obsessed and you so paralyzed, meditate.
거기에 너무 완전 집중하고 완전 거기에 중독이 돼가지고.
Agree? You have to meditate to restore your balance.
그래야 다시 밸런스가 생깁니다.
So that you stop making wrong decisions
그래야지만 우리가
that might make things worse for you. Agree?
아니면 계속 점점
That's the first thing. First thing I would do is meditate. And it's easier said than done because my students are stressed out as well sometimes.
때때로 이번 제 제자들조차도
And that's part of the test. Part of the training is when they're stressed out, what do? Do they sleep? Do they cry? Do they quit? Or they cross the legs and meditate?
두 가지 선택 방법이 있는데 자거나 먹거나 그냥 때려치든가 명상하든가.
And those who When they discover through the years of training, the crossing the lakes and meditating to restore
계속
balance.
경험을 해보니까 많은 제자들이 깨달은 거죠. 명상하면 최고구나.
Okay, so in the worldly sense is called stopping the loss. Cut the loss, stop the loss, no more.
실을 딱 잘라버리는 거예요.
Agree? So don't make it worse. So you have to meditate to
이거 더
restore
악화시키지
balance.
않기
That's the first thing I
위해서
would do.
밸런스를 되찾기 위해서 다리를 딱 발바닥을 딱 하고.
And with that, if you can do that, if you have the
있다면.
discipline to do that, then you naturally are able to see much clearer how you got into trouble.
만약에 그렇게 계속 하게 되면 나중에는 결과적으로 왜 이 문제가 생겼는지 맑은 정신에서 딱 알아차릴 수가 있어요.
All right? That's
보이고 갑자기.
sometimes happens. You'll be able to see why you got
어쩔
there.
때 갑자기 이게 보일 수가 있어요.
All right? So that's the first
그
thing.
원인.
The second thing is in Buddhism,
두 번째는
it's
부ddhism는
very practical. We believe, I as a Chan practitioner believes in blessings.
제 불교 수행자로서 믿음은 믿음으로 생각하는 거는 가피 알아요? 가피? 그죠? 여러분? 그겁니다.
The fact that we are able as our group to come here to your country and learn from each other.
우리 그룹이 이렇게 미국에서 왔잖아요. 다 같이. 여기 방문할 수 있었고 또 서로 이렇게 서로 배움을 나눌 수 있다는 그 사실 자체로도
Is because the bottom line is because you have the blessings.
결과적으로 우리가 다 복이 많은 거예요.
So that we're able to get to pay for the airfare to come
그러니까
here.
우리가 비행기 값도 낼 수 있었고 여기 밖에 있는 사람 좀 들어오게 해주세요.
Yeah. Pay for the hotel, pay for the food, pay for the taxi cabs.
택시비도
you
낼
know,
수 있고
that takes
음식값도 낼
blessings.
수 있고 그거는 우리가 복이 있어서 그런 거예요.
Agree?
동의하시나요?
So in Buddhism, in China in particular, we don't worry about why
특히 선에서는
is that I'm so poor.
이렇게 가난한지 그런 걱정 안 합니다.
We are poor. We're supposed to be poor.
우리는 가난해야 되거든요 원래.
But what we do,
저 아니고 여기 나 아니에요.
Yeah.
No, I told them I'm not supposed to be poor. It's just you.
yeah, we are poor. It's you are rich, richer.
여러분은 다 부자고 우리는 가난하고.
So instead of worrying about riches and wealth and success, okay, we build our blessings.
어떻게 하면 우리가 더 풍족하게 살 수 있는지는 다 복에 기반이 되어 있습니다.
You talk to Venerable Jawu and the temple here, say, you know, if you want riches, you want good things happen to you,
일이 많이 생기고
then
또
plant your
풍족하게
blessings.
살고 싶으려면
And
사시려면 가피 복을 쌓아야죠.
I submit to you that the way we Buddhists are taught is you go and plant in a field blessings. Field blessings. 福田. Field of blessings.
The feel like more.
Field. This is one field of blessing right here. Each square is one field blessing.
Oh, the field.
Yeah.
Field.
It's field. Yeah.
이렇게 불교에서
채우다는
아니 field.
Tian. Tian.
Field.
Chinese word is tian. Yeah.
중국 저기 한자 아시는 분. field. 그러니까 field가 이렇게 축구장 field 있잖아요. 그럼 여기 이렇게 한 칸 한 칸 그런 거를 이렇게 field blessing.
Yeah, our sash here
아니 몸이 아니라
have these squares here. You
가사가
see?
있잖아요.
See this thing here? Okay. This is a square here symbolizes a field blessings.
그거를 저기 상징하는 거예요. field blessing.
I'm sorry, I have to advertise Buddhism a little bit, okay?
불교에서 좀 애드버타이즈 광고가
So-
나옵니다.
What's so funny about it?
왜 웃기죠?
So in Buddhism,
불교에서는
you can plant blessings anywhere. You can go to a church, you can go to a hospital, you can go to an orphanage and help them out.
고아원에 가서도 복을 쌓을
That's
수
you
있지만
planting blessings. But the Buddha taught that
그러나
you go to the
불교에서
temples
부처님
because the
가르치는
temples are the best field of blessings.
부처님이 말한 거는 절에 가서 하는 그 복이 가장 최고의 그 field 값입니다라고 가르쳤다고.
So the Buddha trained his pupils, his disciples, so that they become
부처님이
the best
봤을 때
field of blessings for
제자들을
mankind.
봤을 때 그 최고의 가피를 가르쳤대 어떤 건지.
Okay, if I were at my temple and somewhere else, I would say, go do charity work and go help others. But since here, I really be honest with you. We don't have a lot of time together.
시간이 같이
So-
할 수 있는 시간이
so,
너무 짧기 때문에 다른 데
Go to
같은
the
경우는
temples.
아무 데나 가서 복을 지어라 이렇게 얘기하지만 너무 시간이 없기 때문에 저는 여러분한테 바로 이렇게 얘기를 합니다.
Go to the temples and help out.
사찰에 가서 다른 사람들 도우십시오.
Okay, you don't need money. You put in your time. You help the temple.
돈뿐만이 아니라 자기
What
시간을
help do you
쓰고
need?
자우스님 뭐가 필요하신가요?
Yeah. Okay, so that's what you do. And you know what I found out? My personal experience has been.
개인적인 경험으로 봤을 때
There are some I know of 6-7 years ago. There is a Vietnamese programmer. She's a programmer.
베트남인 중에 그 프로그래머가 있었는데 그 소프트웨어 프로그래머 있잖아요.
The mother is Vietnamese. She was a boat people. She escaped Vietnam by boat.
왜 그 베트남에서 옛날에 이렇게 배 타고 탈출한 사람들 있잖아요.
And she raised a family by herself by sewing clothes in the U.S.
옷을 꼬매가지고 돈을 벌어서
You get paid by the piece. You do one piece, you get paid 10 cents or something. So every day you make a lot of these things.
10, 100원 이렇게 받고.
You have no education, no training. That's what you do.
교육도 없고, 교육도 못 받았고.
And so she raised her daughter,
그렇게 애를
and she sent her through college. And her
딸을
daughter became a programmer,
근데 그 딸이
computer
그래서
programmer.
컴퓨터 프로그래머가 된 거예요.
And the daughter has been unemployed for 3 years.
근데 딸이 3년 동안 취직을 못했어.
So she came my temple, and she's a disciple of my generation of my late teacher, Venerable YongHua as well.
선화상이 제자 사찰에 가서 우리 스님 말고 다른 스님.
So she came and she complained. She said, my daughter, I feel so bad for her. I'm worried about her future.
내 딸이 너무 걱정이 된다고 그렇게 상담을 했대.
And so we advised her to. I didn't advise her, but my nuns, one of the nuns, advised her to help out at the temple.
그 사람들한테 그 엄마한테 그 권장을 한 거는 절에 와서 봉사활동을 하라고 그렇게.
And so she helped out. She's really not Buddhist at all, but she helped out because she has nothing else to do. And so she came and helped us do a little bit of Photoshop.
딸이 갔어요.
Designs and stuff like that.
교육이 안 했는데 엄마가 시켜가지고.
And
포토샵 이런 것도 하고.
And in 2 months' time, she got a job in Florida. Our temples in California.
저기 직장을 구했어요. 플로리다에서.
And so they immediately went to Florida too.
그래서 바로 즉시 플로리다로 갔어요.
And I feel bad. I felt bad because I told her that hang on a little bit longer. I want to teach you how to.
그때 당시에 좀 안쓰러웠던 거는
Have
그 딸한테 조금 더 기다려라.
Have better communication skills so that you become more valuable to your company, but never happened.
그 회사에 갔을 때 더 가치 있는 그런 일을 할 수 있게 더 잘할 수 있게 해주고 싶었는데.
And then recently, last year in December or so, there is a Chan student in our class.
작년에 이제 저희 절에도 어떤 학생이 있었어요.
He's Hispanic, and
중남미계 사람이었는데
he's finishing up on his his nursing aid training.
간호사 쪽 일을 끝내고 이제 공부를 끝내고 있는 중이었는데
And he's worried about getting a good job to support his wife and family.
그 사람이 너무 걱정이 많았어요. 직장을 빨리 구해서 그 자기 와이프하고 자식을 이제 부양을 해야 되는 상황인데.
As you understand, and we monks have a little bit of ethical dilemma. I can't tell people to come and help my temple. It doesn't sound right.
사람들한테 제가 우리 절에 와서 도와달라고 그렇게 말을 할 수가 없는데.
But my students, they have no such reservations.
What do you mean, Master? I don't understand.
It's just English saying my students have no such constraints, limitations.
제한이 없다고? 한계가 없다고? So you mean the students don't have any limit?
They have no morals.
Yeah, let's get straight forward. 도덕이 좀 모자르대요, 제 제자들이.
So my American disciple
그래서 미국
advised
제자들이
him. He says, at our temple, people come and help out. They get jobs, they get love, they get all those.
스님 제자들이 그 사람 보고 우리 절에 가가지고 이런 일도 하고 이런 일도 봉사하면 막 사람들이 막 직장도 구하고 막 이렇게 제자들이 눈치도 없이
So this guy came and helped.
했는데 그 사람한테
He came and helped for
그래서
about a month.
하여튼 결과적으로 그 사람이
음.
그 스님 절에 와가지고 막 봉사를 하기 시작했는데.
So one day he was giving a ride between our two temples.
그 사람 어느 날 갑자기 기회가 돼서 스님을 모시고 그 사슬 2개가 가까이 있는데 거기를 이렇게 운전해서 데려간 거예요.
And he was talking about 5 minutes drive.
그래서 5분밖에 안 돼요.
We didn't have the chance to talk much. I don't talk to my students anyway. I don't have time. And so he's complaining. He's complaining. He said, I interviewed for 2 jobs. I'm worried. I'm so worried that these are the jobs I want. Really, this is the kind of job I want. So many people applying for the jobs. I'm not sure I can get it.
2 군데 이렇게 지원서를 직장 관련 냈는데 안 될 것 같아서 될지 안 될지 모르겠다. 사람들도 너무 경쟁자도 많고 그래서 어떻게 될지 모르겠다. 막 그게
그랬대요. And he says, your American monk disciple, told me to come to the temple and help out.
근데 스님이 와서 봉사하라고 얘기했대요. 얘기했다고 우리 사람한테 얘기했대요. 차 안에서.
Now you know why I don't like American disciples.
그래서 미국 제자들 별로 안 좋아해.
It's on the internet, right? It's being recorded, right? Very good. Okay.
비디오 지금 녹화 중이냐고.
So he said, your disciple told me to come to the temple and help out because it works very well for so many people already. So I helped out for a month. So remind me, I've been helping you for a month.
근데 5분 이제 가면서 스님한테 내가 봉사를 진짜 했다고 막 이게 얘기를 하는 거예요. 막 언급하는 거예요. 기억시키려고 스님한테.
So I immediately said, of course you have a good job.
그래서 당연하지. 정말 좋은 잡을 구할 거야. 막 이렇게 얘기했대요.
And later he told my American disciple, he says, that day he went home, after he gave me a ride back to my temple, went home, got 2 offers from those 2 jobs he wanted.
그날 집에 돌아가자마자 딱 봤는데 그 2개 그 지원서 낸 데서 다 직장을 취업이 됐다고 통보가 왔대요. 2 다. Okay.
So what I'm trying to share with you is that you want financial rewards and stuff, plant your blessings.
그래서
That's what you do.
금전적인 그런 스트레스가 있으면
to get advantage of others. We Buddhists do the exact opposite. We go and give to others, give money, give our time, give our labor. Okay? That's how we create blessings. With the blessings, good things will happen to you. Guarantee.
복이 있으면 반드시 약속드립니다. 좋은 일이 많이 생길 겁니다.
And that's why we need to teach our children as well.
그렇기
Yeah.
때문에 우리
It's more than
어린아이에
just competing for grades
이런
and
교육을 해야
success.
됩니다.
It's
성공만
something,
나는 것만 가르치지 말고
you know, and we teach people meditation so that they can do good for society. That's what Chan is about.
사람들한테 선을 가르치는 이유는 그 여러분들이 다시 선을 해서 좋은 사회의 일부 일원이 되기를 원하기 때문이죠.
And just between us.
여러분하고 제 사이만 있는 얘긴데.
So many people came to me and said, you know, I like your ideals, I like what you do. So I promise you, if I ever win a super lotto, I build you a big temple.
승리하시는 일이 너무 마음에 드니까 나중에 복권 당첨되면 진짜 돈 많이 드릴게요.
Korea same.
Korea same, huh?
To me also many people said that.
Yeah, and you know, maybe we had the same experience as well. It never happened.
절대 그런 일 안 없었어요. 절대 안 일어났는데 복권 당첨돼서 그렇게 큰 돈 가져온 사람 한 번도 못 봤대요.
So surely it must be the proof that I'm no good for your blessings.
그게 바로 스님이 생각해서 스님이 복이 제대로 된 복이 없으신 것 같아요. 그걸 보니까.
Okay, that's enough for today. Let's go to lunch. Is it lunchtime? You know, the Americans are unlike you. You're so polite. You know, when it's time to stop, you stop. In America, they say, speak some more. Speak some more. We want to hear more. So every time our Dharma talks are scheduled for an hour, usually it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. They don't let go. They say, Master, I'm so busy. This is the only time I can come to the temple. Talk some more. Talk some more. But we know better, right? Some good food has been cooked, waiting for you to try. Yes? Yes. A question?
정확하게 어떤 거죠?
지적증. That sounds serious.
지적 intellectual obstacle. Hindrance. She's wondering how to educate. It's like similar to the first one.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but it's a very complicated because it's you're not talking about the boy alone that needs to be fixed. The problem with the boy alone. Okay, but also the karmic retribution applies to the family, the entire family as well. So it's not that easy. Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes I say things I'm not supposed to. Okay, but you know, my personal feeling is that it's the entire family, because if you are worried about him, meaning that it's your karmic retribution as well, not just your sons.
다 연관이 돼 있어서 예를 들어서 아들이 문제가 있으면 그 아들 때문에 지금 걱정이 되잖아요. 그 영향을 미치고 있잖아요. 바로 그게 전생부터 오는 여러 업하고 연결이 돼서 이 한 사람 문제가 아니라 다 연결이 되는 문제예요.
So you have first to worry about his welfare, make sure he's well cared for. Okay. But also the problem will not go away because it pertains to you as well. So let's say someone says, I fixed your son's problem for you. It's not going to work because they have to fix your problems as well. I'm sorry. I know. Sometimes people ask this question, we answer, give them answer, and they don't like it. They feel like we are attacking them or it's not necessarily true. It's just my personal thinking. That's all. Okay. So what I would propose you to do is go and bow, repent. Attend repentance ceremonies, go and bow, and bow every day, at home. If you feel bad, you feel not well, Bow. Instead of sitting there and worry and feeling
걱정이
bad.
많으면
Okay?
앉아가지고 걱정하지
Bow.
말고
Bow to,
절을 많이 하세요.
I would recommend you bow to Medicine Master Buddha.
약사분한테 절을 하십시오.
Okay. Can you share with her Medicine Master Buddha Sutra? So that, it's a very wonderful Dharma, will do a whole lot of good for your family.
만약 그렇게 하시면 전체
Okay.
가족한테
Buddhism, we do
도움이
have
많이
dharmas to help you get those things, but that's not our primary concern.
근데 불교에서 그런
Yeah.
여러 가지 방법이
It's not. This is
있지만
not a sales thing where we do that so that
그게
that you
제일
believe in
중요한
us.
목적이 아니래요. 불교에서
Okay.
그런 방법이
You
있긴
do that in
한데
order to benefit everyone, not just you.
불교는 전 모든 사람들 다 이렇게 해야지
Yeah.
딱 한 사람만 이렇게 해서는 안 되기 때문에
You bow when you feel good. When you don't feel good, you feel worried. Like right now, you bow. You bow to the Buddha and ask for help. Would you please
우리 약사분한테
get some of my son, for my family, for my husband,
내가
and so forth.
도와달라고.
Okay.
내가
It would help you
도와달라고.
tremendously.
그럼 엄청나게 많은 도움이 될 거예요.
Okay. It takes time.
시간이 많이 걸려요.
So the only thing I have to offer you is that
제가
it seems like it's a kind of retribution for this lifetime.
이번 이생에서 이게 연관이 된 거잖아요. 연결이 된 거잖아요.
Okay.
된 이생에.
In Buddhism, we're not that short-sighted.
근데 불교에서는 우리가 이생만 보는 게 아니고
If you go to the temple and you do the bowing like that, you're planting blessings for your family, especially for your son.
계속 이렇게 와서 절에서 복을 짓고 약사불에게도 절을 하고 그러면은 전체 가족을 위해서 복을
For the future.
미래를 위해서 지금 이생만 보지 마시고.
I would, if you're worried about his welfare, I would bring him to the temple, put money in his hands,
아드님한테 손에 돈을
put money in his hands, and guide his hands and put it in a donation box and say, please,
그래서 아들이
with utmost respect, I'm here, would like to make an offering to the Triple Jewel.
산보에게 이 기부금을 넣는다고.
With that kind of offering there, in the future, he'll be very rich.
그렇게 하면 나중에 미래에 부자가 될 겁니다.
For him right now, at least you can do a lot of good things for his future.
근데 그렇게 하면 나중에는 미래에 많은 좋은 일이 생길 겁니다.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's all I have.
죄송합니다. 이거밖에 줄 수 있는 게 없습니다.
All right, let's go to lunch, shall we?
왜 그러지?
응?
Yes.
Okay, very good.